What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be doing a news story on the singer slash rapper, more so rapper, MIA. Now I know a few of her songs, and I actually quite enjoyed them. One's Paper Planes. Another one she did like this year was Bad Girls. But definitely her songs are very I wouldn't call it graphic at times, but their lyrics are pretty they're very suggestive of violence and so forth. And so this is what happened. MIA performed at the Super Bowl halftime show back in 2012. And the NFL sued her afterwards for $1.5 million because she middle fingered the camera, I believe. And I think a lot of people don't know this, but most of the time you don't get paid to perform at these sort of events. The reason being because you make so much money off of the sales just from people watching the halftime show and looking you up and then going on iTunes and buying your record, that you like just being invited on to perform at the halftime show is you're already making the money back, and it's a huge honor, and a lot of people are fighting for that position. Plus it makes sense because like a minute of commercial for during the NFL Super Bowl is like millions of dollars at times. And so to have like half an hour to perform, that's a ridiculous amount of time. Maybe it's not half an hour, 20 minutes or so. So regardless though, and I know that's true because this year's performance by Bruno Mars, he didn't get paid directly for his performance. And so I'm not too big into pop culture, but this came up, and so let's just talk about it. Here's my thinking on it. Before I get into my thinking, let me expand on what's happened. So they have expanded that $1.5 million, which could possibly be manageable. I mean, she's fairly famous. I don't think she's that famous though. I think her net worth is definitely under $10 million, maybe even less. 1.5 million, it may take her a long while to get that money. I mean, that's not cheap, and even for most performers or entertainers, that's quite a lot. But here's the thing. After it was taken public, they're now trying to sue her for an additional $15.1 million in restitution. And so this is going back and forth. And yeah, all for her flipping her middle finger. And so, was this the wrong thing to do? I think that, in my opinion, the fact that they probably never briefed her before the event. They were not like, okay, you're going to do this halftime show. You can't show your middle finger. You can't do this. You can't do that. And if they did, it was probably in some huge contract in minuscule text in like the fifth paragraph. And so I think she sort of went into the event not really knowing. If she did do it, if it was briefed and she still did it, that's a different story. But even then, it really depends on how they presented it to her. If before the event they were like very, very clear about it, as in, look, MIA, you can't show your middle finger, you can't do this, you can't do that, or else there can be dramatic legal consequences. I doubt they did it in such a clear manner. Maybe they casually mentioned it to her, maybe it was not mentioned at all. And so here's the thing. The Super Bowl halftime show has been known for controversial things. Um, I believe there have been strange things going on at the event. Michael Jackson grabbed his crotch at the event, which was very sexually suggestive. This has been going on for a lot of events for a while now. I can think of quite a few events outside of the Super Bowl, such as Adam Lambert from American Idol, who apparently kissed another male shortly after he finished American Idol, and there was a lot of backlash. I never really understood that myself, but there's a lot of backlash, and he actually wrote a song, "What Do You Want From Me," because of that, which got pretty popular. Anyhow, back on track. There's Prince had a performance in 2007, which was actually kind of recent. I'm surprised he still got invited back so recently. He also did some suggestive performance. They both got off fairly fine. And so I think it should be made clear that MIA only had a 2-minute segment during Madonna's performance, but it was viewed by 167 million TV households. So it was quite a lot of people. MIA has filed a response, probably through their lawyers, stating, quote, "The claim for restitution lacks any basis in law, fact, or logic," unquote. Here's the thing though. MIA posted on Twitter a picture of the of part of the agreement that they're trying to settle on how she's going to pay for this. And so in the picture, which is kind of sketchy, that it's very clear that the picture is part of a Gmail email. So this is seen in the Gmail interface. The fact that they're doing this through email is kind of sketchy, but regardless, she tweeted a photo of part of the agreement, and you can tell by this agreement that she is not that rich by any means, because it seems like, based on the agreement, she's going to have a hard time paying back this money. So in the agreement, you can probably Google it and find it yourself. They offered 2 options based on the photo she tweeted. The first one was like pretty much anything under $500,000 we won't take any of, but from there we're taking 50% of anything from 500,000 to 2.5 million. We're taking 75% of anything from 2.5 million to 5 million you make in any year from here on hence, and 100% of all profits over 500,000. Now this is, at first I saw this and I was like, this is kind of crazy, but honestly, when you think about it, it's not that bad, because it's saying that, okay, we understand you have to bring some bread to the table so you can feed yourself. So anything under $500,000 we won't take anything from. That's actually very generous. And yet at the same time, they're pretty much saying anything beyond that, we're taking pretty much all of it. So you can kind of guess the range at which she's dealing with. And so the second proposal they had is, in the interest of getting this done, we are willing to make one more proposal, blah, blah, blah. We would be willing to limit our ability to seek a recovery from MIA under any indemnity for a third-party claim to be 50% of anything over 500,000 and 100% of anything over 5 million in any year. So it's kind of sad. It's a strange situation, because if she accepts any of these proposals, it puts her in a situation where she's a celebrity, she's rich, and she's an entertainer, and yet she is pretty much bound, and a lot of her money is just like siphoned off. So she's like, in certain ways, broke. even though she's making a lot of money every day compared to the average Joe, which is kind of strange and not the first time I've seen something like this. Apparently, one of the winners of American Idol, or runner-up, she apparently experienced a similar form of corruption after her run on American Idol with the industry. And there's been other instances of this. But again, it's quite rare, and it's fairly interesting. Granted, though, it's definitely not as strict as it could be, and the fact that they're still leaving a decent amount for her to live off. I mean, off the second proposal, anything she makes over 500,000, only 50% is taken away. Over 50,000. So if she makes anything under 50,000, then she gets to keep it. So it's a strange scenario. I think this would put her in the I would call it lower upper middle class category. I would say after everything's taken away and taxes are deducted, she's probably making around, 100 to 200,000 per year that she can probably keep after taxes, which is like definitely a reasonable income for sure. But based on her sort of lifestyle and her she may be overspoiled, or she may have just overspent and gotten used to her frivolous lifestyle, it can be pretty tough for her. I personally think it's ridiculous, and yet at the same time, I think she can definitely live off of this proposal, and yet I am pretty sure that she's probably, having a hard time. She's like, oh, I can't live off $200,000. Like, I feel like she could be that sort of pampered person. I don't know her personally, so I can't say. But the story is, she tweeted this post, and she typed it in all caps. She tweeted this picture, and her caption for it was, "This is what they want me to sign, that I've been fighting for 2 years on top of 16 million." So it's ridiculous. Here's the thing. In conclusion, I think it is ridiculous for them to do this to her. I don't know what they're trying to pull the NFL, or I think it's also NBC that's involved. Was it some sort of censorship thing? Things have been getting less and less censored over the years. So I don't know. I feel like they're trying to overexploit it, NFL and NBC. They didn't need to, sue her for that much. In my opinion, I feel like it was just, they're trying to get a lot of money out of her. They're like, we got you to perform, we're going to get some more out of you. It's based on the entire fact that she flipped the camera, which I thought was ridiculous. And the fact that there have been like many instances of this, like back when Madonna, I think it was Madonna and Britney Spears kissed on camera during either it was like the halftime show or some other event, that went ballistic. A lot of controversial things have happened, and they have not been sued by the network. So I think it's somewhat realistic for them to up the ante. Is crazy. I think she should have gotten some repercussion, but this amount is just ridiculous. It pretty much, based off of my surface view of it, it seems like it's over the top and intended to get under her skin and take out everything they can from her, which I think is ridiculous as an institution for the NFL, because in my opinion that's going to hurt the NFL's reputation. Not by much, because not everyone cares, but like, you're going to invite someone to perform on your show, and then you're going to destroy their careers afterwards. So I don't know. I think it's somewhat ridiculous, but at the same time, she should have been more careful. But at the same time, it's somewhat in her character, as her as a performer. Same thing with Kanye West, Jay-Z. A lot of people, it's somewhat in their character to do some of these things. So that's my thoughts on it. I'll see you guys later.